Okay, are you ready?
What have you got planned? I'm scared. Go on.
All right. It's over the pond with Fraser and John. Quack. I read one of the comments on the last video said that's how they imagine it, and so I just wanted to. I feel like that's a good way to.
Should I put in like a little jingle sound effect in there?
It'd be great. So this is podcast number 8, I think. Actually, I think the last one was 7, so we were completely wrong. So welcome to the podcast, everyone. I'm wearing an orange beanie because I think sometimes people kind of lose me, and so I just wanted to make sure I was highly visible in this podcast. So
I'm liking it.
I wore an orange beanie. How are you feeling? Fraser?
I feel like deaf. I should apologize to you all before you get into this. I'm probably going to be sneezing. I'm probably going to be making noises that you've never heard from me before, and I apologize for that.
Hey, make that what you will with that. I don't know about that. I'm a little excited.
Yeah, some may come out. Who knows? Because bodily fluids are all over the place right now. I'm like.
Yeah, it was a good podcast until Fraser started moaning. It was a little strange.
Yeah, no, in short, guys, I'm ill. Don't ever drink. I don't have a hangover. I was kind of thinking it was a hangover, but I went out like one time in my life and I get a cold, and it's just a regular cold. I'm not dying or anything, but you should feel sorry for me and like this video, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So hit the like button.
And comment something nice. Comment get well soon, King. I don't know.
There you go.
I'm just sweating out as well, but I've got like a really bad shirt on underneath, so I don't really want to like. It's like a very just ugly shirt, so I'm keeping the jumper on. The presentation.
I was like, what does it have? A bunch
of
on it or something?
No, dude, it's not like the Kanye West shirts or anything like that, man. Nothing like that. Jesus, it's just like when you've got a shirt that just doesn't like fit your body well. It's just like yeah. So the first thing I wanted to bring up was, so I wake up this morning. And I'm just like blissfully unaware of what's been going on in my sleep, and I open a DM and I'm like, I see I've got more message requests than usual on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, what's going on there? So I click on it, and somebody sent me a DM saying, hey man, I don't know if you know this, but somebody's taken your dog's image and name and used it to make a crypto coin, and I'm like,
Kenji coin.
Yeah, that's basically what it is, and I was like. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna put my phone down whenever I see anything crypto related. I kind of get scared and run away. I don't want a CoffeeZilla video made on me. So then I go about my day just ignoring it, and I get a few more DMs and a few more DMs and a few more DMs, and I'm like, all right, I've actually got to look into this, man. So I like search the $sign and Kenji on Twitter, and I see that there is a tweet like every 30 seconds about. Like, go onto Twitter right now if you're on your if you've got Twitter open or anything. Search. I'll just send you. All you've got to search is $Kenji, and I was like, "What's going on, man? What's going on?" Like, it's like the last tweet was 2 minutes ago, and like there's an account dedicated to it. I'm looking at it right now, which says Kenji Small Shib, and it's just like a load of random crypto dudes just tweeting about my dog. And I like put it on my story.
Weird, dude.
Yeah, I put it on my story being like, I'm so confused. This is why I thought what I said. I was like, I'm so confused. I've just been made aware that somebody's made Kenji into a crypto coin. WTF, get your bag, I guess. At that point, I was like, thinking it's just like one guy, like just trying to mess around. And like, I know that crypto is like a controversial thing, but if someone's like wanting to make money, I don't really care that much. Mm-hmm. It was just, but like, I don't want my name like attached to it just because I have no idea who these people are or anything like that. I don't know if it's like a real thing. I mean, I know what crypto, I know about the shady world of crypto to like a brief extent, but I was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on here or how they even found my dog. But like the last time I looked, the coin has got like a market cap of $200,000. So overnight, people have actually like, there's like thousands of people that have invested money in something called Kenji coin. And I'm just like, how and why? And I feel like this looks like I'm doing some like subtle promotion of like not it's like it's I've not said anything about it, but it's just exploded. And I wanted to see, I was like, how many people are actually like engaging in this? So I have an account on Kenji's Instagram. So I posted on it for the first time in like a year, just a photo of him. And there was like 100 comments in 10 minutes just being like, to the moon, Kenji coin, this is bullish and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And now there's just like hundreds, if not thousands of tweets about my dog from these crypto accounts. And like,
okay, Fraser, have you considered that Kenji knows how to use a computer?
well, bro, but the weird thing
have
is,
you
it's like,
seen The Secret Life of Pets? Okay,
he isn't in the room right now. This could be like CoffeeZilla's biggest video, bro. Like, look, honestly, if it's like not like a rug pull and these people make money, I'm not that mad. Maybe you can send me some, but I'm not endorsing this shit.
Whenever I see that would be so. Yeah, I don't care. Can we move on? No. Whenever I see an influencer and then crypto, I'm almost immediately like, okay, what was this stupid harebrained scheme that they tried to come up with to take money from XYZ? I feel like anytime I see influencer and crypto, it's because someone is being scammed. Whether it's the people that follow the influencer, maybe it's the influencer themselves. I feel like that's a lot of times what they're like, no, I'm not scamming people. I got scammed actually, right? And then there's the whole Boogie thing where he was like trying to be. That whole thing is a whole nother. It's a whole nother can of worms. But I just don't get it, man, at all.
Yeah, me neither, and I feel like it looks like I'm trying to scam my audience like very subtly, because like that's how it goes, isn't it? There's a crypto coin and the influencer's like, oh, I don't know about this, and then it accelerates the interest in it.
So did that Instagram get a bunch of like new followers too? Like was there like
let me go check right now. Instagram, if anyone wants to follow Kenji's Instagram, it's just Kenji the Woofer. But so okay, look, there's loads of new. There's not loads, but like you can see there's like
a few.
There's new followers coming through, and they're all like, somebody commented on this last post, just Kenji Dollar, like this post from like a year ago, but like
that's great. And so like, are they trying to connect it to you? Is there like
I received a few DMs from like some of the guys who I don't know if they're correct. I didn't reply or open a DM, like, you know how you can open it and they can start messaging you more, but like I didn't open it because I'm like, there's like 5 different people that messaged me and I was like, I don't know who you are. I don't really want to be involved in this, but they were like, oh yeah, we want to send you some like Kenji tokens so you can get involved. And I'm like, bro, I don't know. I've like the furthest I've ever gone into crypto is like, I bought Bitcoin like years and years ago, like 2017. But like, other than that, that's as far as my interest in crypto goes, really.
Yeah.
But I should also say I did sell my crypto in 2017 too, so I'm not a fucking rich crypto.
I was gonna say, wait, how many Bitcoins did you buy? Because I'm pretty sure like one is worth like something ridiculous now.
When I bought crypto in 2017, I believe Bitcoin was worth like, I don't know. Let me type in. I promise we'll move on from this chat soon, everyone.
No, this is the new podcast, you guys. Crypto Bro podcast.
So in 2017, when I invested in Bitcoin, it was worth $3,000, and it's oh my god, it's now worth $96,000. That's crazy. What the fuck? I don't understand it either. Like, people like try to explain to me like, this is why crypto is valuable, and like they're like, shit coins don't mean anything, but Bitcoin, man, that's the future. I'm like, why is it the future? And they're like, you can buy things with it. I'm like, bro, I can buy things with my like centralized, like protected pound coin or my dollar or my euro, you know. I guess the whole idea of crypto is like it's unregulated and the government don't have control over it, but it kind of shows how volatile it is that my dog can like get $100,000 in investment in a day without the actual owner knowing what the fuck is going on.
So if we start to notice Kenji drive around in like a Lambo,
we're gonna do something.
Know.
Yeah, we gotta do something about that guy. We gotta make a video on my dog. Sorry about the random. I feel like I just want to talk about it. I should say I'm not endorsing it. I don't know anything about crypto, and I just wanted to talk about it because I honestly found it kind of funny. I hope people become millionaires, but I don't know. How's your week been? Has any of your pets been turned into a crypto millionaire overnight?
No, sadly. No, it's been a pretty good week. I mean, we were talking like a little bit before we started recording, but the weather here has been not the best. You know, it's been pretty dreary here. So I'm really looking forward to going back to San Diego at the end of March. I'm going to be visiting.
Living back already, man.
yeah, I'm over it. No, I'm going back for my niece's birthday, and so looking forward to that. I mean, all things considered, it's been a pretty good week. Yeah, you know, just doing my thing, surviving.
Yeah,
the dreariness.
Yeah, no, it's dreary. As I said to you earlier, it's really dreary here. I just want the summer to start, man. At least the spring or something. Honestly, if it's not like warm by April, I'm probably just gonna get on a plane and go to Spain for a few days, just like to be fixed. You know, like when you just are deprived of like actual sunlight, like heated sunlight, not like just regular freezing cold sunlight, but like actual warmth. I feel deprived at the moment, and I'm kind of like just desperate for a bit of heat in my life.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, England and New England there's a lot of similarities, and the lack of sunshine in the during winter is one of them for sure.
Yeah, it's painful, man. It's painful. I wanted to talk about Marvel a little bit, but I feel like maybe we can do that towards the ending. I've put it for topic 1 for some reason, but now I think about it. No one cares to hear about me talk about Marvel. We can leave that for later on.
That's fine. I will say I've been addicted to playing Marvel Rivals recently.
I've seen you on that, and I was going to message you being like, bro, let's hop on. But like, honestly, I was too ill this week. Are you good at it now?
No. I am really bad. I like to play ranked because I don't know what it is about my brain. If there's a ranked mode, I'm like, I have to play that mode because why would I not? Because then if I'm playing any other mode, I'm wasting my time, which isn't true. But I don't know why. When I played Valorant a lot, it was like, why would I play unrated if I could just play ranked?
I completely get. I never had that mentality before, but then I got a friend who I played video games with, and that dude, like, we find a new multiplayer game, and he's like, "Is there a ranked? Is there a ranked?" And I'm like, "Bro, I'm just here to play casually." But then like we get into ranked, and I'm like, "Well, I'm here now, so I've got to play ranked." And it's like even if I like have a slight dip into it, it's like I can't play any more casual. And I feel like I was really enjoying Marvel Rivals when I just played it on casual. Then I went into competitive mode, and I'm like, bro, I fucking hate this.
People are just so toxic, man. That's the biggest thing. It's just annoying. Like, because I'll play a good amount by myself, like ranked, and it's fine. But like, then I'll play with my friend Zach, and we both definitely like take it. We don't take it seriously to where we like flame other people, but we get like frustrated and we get tilted, right? Like in our own voice chat, because we'll be on Discord ourselves. And so it's just like sometimes we'll be playing, like we'll be like, oh, cool, we lost 5 games in a row. This is like, okay, bye. We'll just hang up on each other and be like, I'm annoyed.
Oh, dude, that is like the funniest thing when you're in a call with your friend and you guys both want to fucking kill each other because you're like, I know no one says it when you're playing with your friend. Like when I'm playing Rocket League with my friend, and like we're doing 2v2s and he does something wrong. Oh, actually no, it's worse in a 3v3 because there's a guy who's not in our party, just a random who's added to it to fill the rotation gaps, whatever you want to call it. And then they join the team, and then my friend will like flame the other player, and I'm like, he's not the problem here. You're the fucking problem. But you don't want to say it. You don't want to but you know. So he's not really as toxic as I am in terms of getting mad at each other, but I'm like silently just angry, and I'm like, yeah, I've got things to do. Bye, and then I'll just close the game and just leave.
Yeah, no, like with me and Zach, like we, like I don't know. I try to never engage with anyone if they're flaming me, if they're flaming other people on the team. I try to just be like, I don't want to say anything, but he'll like engage with people and he'll like flame other people a little bit. Not super toxic, but like it's just like I'm just so not that way, and I really try not to take it too seriously, but I also can't help it. Like I do take it seriously, but I try and keep that all to myself. You know what I mean? And like my expectations, because like, so I don't know, whatever. People that don't know about Marvel Rivals, you can just skip ahead. But like, we're in like very low rank. We're like bronze, like as low as you can get, right?
Yeah.
And so when we first started playing, I think like with the ranked, everyone starts bronze 3 and then you work your way up. I think because like that's where I was placed. Maybe not everyone is placed that low, but like we were both placed.
You start off there, then you work your way up.
Yeah. Okay. So we were placed there, and at first we were talking, and he was like, "I don't know, should we play ranked?" And I was like, "Dude, we literally have nothing to lose. There's no lower that we can go, right?" And then so I worked my way up. I almost got to silver. silver, right? I was like one game off, and then I hit a freaking like 7-game losing streak all the way back to bronze 3. And I'm just like, dude, it's fun because, so the thing about PvP games, player versus player, for those that might not know, right? The reason that I do enjoy them is that the highs are the highest highs I feel like I've ever really felt in gaming. Yeah. Because you feel like you bested a person, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But then the lows are like, I mean, I'm not afraid to admit this. Like when I used to play Valorant, there was twice when I literally cried and I was like, I'm done. Like, no, because I would get so frustrated with myself. When I get frustrated, I get I get very emotional. And so it was more like I'm just frustrated that I'm doing well. And then I'm getting flamed by my teammates who are most likely literal children, and then I'm over here 30 years old, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? I need to get it together. I need to just get off I need to stop gaming.
Do you ever get that like moment of where you're so angry, you're like, I'm just gonna like quit gaming and focus on my career and my fitness and everything like that? Because I do that like once a month, man. I crash out big time because of video games. Like to be honest, I've only cried. I think it's actually I've cried 3 times in my life about a video game. So 2 of the times I think are respectable. Well, no, actually, one of them is completely perfect. But I was 10 years old. So like,
I was really young when.
No. So the first time I cried over a video game would have been 2008. So it would have been 9 years. I would have been. How old was I? 11. I would have been 11 years old.
You're literally a child, dude.
Yeah,
I think
but
crying over a video game is okay.
I was being bullied, okay? So there's this game called Tibia. It's the oldest MMORPG ever. The only other YouTuber that I know that's ever played this game is PewDiePie. He randomly made a video on it in like 2018 being like, I used to play this rogue MMO that no one else I know played. And I was like, oh shit, I played that too, like loads of it. It's like, for me, it was like second to RuneScape. I was playing that game so much. And I had an account on there called Poohead. That was word for word his name on there. So you can only imagine to the shenanigans I got up to on there. And basically, I was in a dungeon, and these like dudes were like, "Hey man, there's like gold over here. Like, do you want to come like help us get the gold?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck, sure." And in this game, you can like block people. So like if you're in front of them, they can't go through you like another video game, right? So like say if there's like a 3-lane thing, or sorry, 2-lane thing, and they're both like stood in front of the lanes, you can't go past them and you're trapped in that block. So like I went in this like area of where they blocked me in, and there was a monster in there which was like way higher than my level, and the monster was like killing me very slowly, and I was like spamming like, please, I'll give you everything, please let me leave. And also when you die in the game, you lose your levels as well. So I was like fucking panicking, and in real life I like called my mum over, like screaming, I like crying, like I was like, mum, these people online are gonna kill me. And I felt like in hindsight my mum probably thought that I probably thought there was like some fucking guy who's actually gonna kill me, but this was like 2008 as well, man. No, the internet was like the Wild West back then. But I died, and I was like, fuck, I was in hysterics, bro. That was like that was the end of my life back then. The other 2 times was over story games. I cried over the ending of.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Crisis Core 7, which was like a prequel to Final Fantasy 7. That the ending was sad when I was like 14, I think. And then God of War Ragnarok, the intro bit, you know, have you played Ragnarok?
Yep.
I kind of like a little tear out, you know, the intro bit where the son's dog dies. The wolf dies. I was like, that is fucking sad. I don't know why. And I looked over Kenji. I might have
teared up there for sure.
Yeah, that shit was. I haven't finished it yet, but that was recently. That was like sad. I was like,
I was gonna say you played that recently. I saw you talking about it.
Yeah. That was really sad. I looked over and Kenji was just sat there, just like chilling, and I was like, oh, that makes
you better
me
not die. You need to make a crypto coin.
I went on to ChatGPT and I was like, how long do dogs live for? And they were like, not long. So I was like, okay, Kenji, you've got to get rich. We gotta buy life extensions for you or whatever. But I feel like those reasons are a little less hectic than Valorant. Although I can understand it. Valorant is a hellscape of a game.
It's just embarrassing. Like, it's not like it's something that I'm proud of, and like I don't know what it is about. Like with Valorant specifically, I got way too invested to where like I spent way too much money. First off,
How many hours a day?
I've always been pretty good at like not no-lifing. Because I'm always very like I'm always very hard on myself about playing games at all. Actually, I think we've talked about this, right?
Yeah,
like,
we did last week.
And so I never really, and that's part of why I never really get that good at, especially PvP games, because people that are good at them have a lot of time in them, and that's fine, whatever, no judgment. Like, but it just I don't have that time, or at least I won't allow myself with it. It's like I don't know why I was so. I spent way too much time watching videos and like how to get better and all of this stuff, right? So I became like way too invested. And so I think that was part of what the frustration was because I put so much time and effort into this thing, but I still was not good at it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's why like a big thing. So with Marvel Rivals, I'm really enjoying it and I have a lot of fun playing. Like I usually end up playing Groot, which I don't know. I think I'm considering changing because I ended up like last night, me and Zach were playing, and this was actually a really cool match. So it was like one of those ones where you have to move the little thing, and like if you get you get 3 points if you make it all the way, right?
Yeah.
And so we were defending first, and this team like rolled us, right? They got all the way through, and I was like, oh my god, here we go again, right? And then so I was like, all right, I'm switching from Groot to the Punisher, which is like a DPS character. Dude, I ended up getting over 50 kills that game.
Holy
and like we won, right? Like we turned it all around, and it was like I was like, maybe I should be doing this. But it's just like, I don't know. But like I've been actively like enjoying the game, but trying not to watch a bazillion YouTube videos about it, because one thing is like if I start watching one video about it, you know how the algorithm is, like you watch one video about how to play Marvel Rivals, and then every single video in your recommended is how to play this, how to do this. This is Marvel Rivals tips, because like especially games like this that are popular, there are so many content creators making stuff about it that it just becomes like this. It just becomes ridiculous. And so like I've literally considered like going on a private tab and just being like, I just want to watch one video about like tips, and I might do that because like I just don't want to end up getting fully, especially because I know with my ADHD, like I will become way too invested and like spend way too much time, and I just like don't want to do that. But I am enjoying the game, and so it's like this catch-22 of like, but I just don't want to get fully like I was with Valorant, because that was just unnecessary. Like the amount of money I spent on skins is probably like in the hundreds, which for some people is nothing, because like, you know, some people can spend thousands, because like in Valorant it's insane, right? There one skin for one gun can be $50.
That's crazy.
One $50 gun, and then the bundles can be, well, the knives are usually $50. The guns will be like 30, but then the bundles will be like literally $100 now. That's right, and it's insane. Just like it's just insane, right? It's insane. I actually had a really cool experience because one of my hyperfixations was art, and I got really into art, and I ended up meeting through social media an artist for Riot. And for Valorant, actually. That's awesome. He's an incredible artist, actually. He's incredibly talented. But we became friends, and he invited me to Riot. So I was able to go up to Riot, and we like walked around, and I played Valorant at Riot. And it was cool. They have this huge, like their lunch area is like, it's like a buffet. So people you can go get food. But then they have this huge lunchroom where they have like big screens, and it's just people from Twitch that are just playing like Valorant or League of Legends.
That's fucking awesome.
But that was really cool. But when I went there, he also gave me a bunch of like Valorant points. I forget what they're called. And so I was able to get like a free bundle, basically.
That's so sick. What the fuck?
Dude, that's like something Amanda always, she's like, you know, the hyperfixation, I understand that it can be annoying, but she's like, it is really interesting when you're into something, you get really into it. And then so I like search out people, and I like to make connections, just not because I'm trying to get anything out of it. It's just I'm super interested in this thing, and I want to be connected with people, right? That's like with I have like a whole nother Instagram that basically I'm only posting drum stuff on, and I'm following only drummers on there basically because I just want, you know, to have that there.
I do a lot of similar stuff, like even like with like mild interests, like say, I mean, I've always liked South Park. I've watched like every episode multiple times of like all 28 seasons.
Really?
Yeah, dude, I fucking love South Park. I'd say it's like my all-time show. Like I just love South Park. It's just like it's like I think it's genuinely good, like funny. I think there's like some good messages in there, good storylines, but I also just think it's like such like a comfort show for me. Like I'll turn that shit on and go to bed, sort of thing. I went in for a really big South Park phase like a month ago, and I was watching all the video essays about it, and I discovered this entire South Park YouTube community. There's so many of them. Yeah, bro. And like there was like drama in it and stuff. There's a drama video in the South Park community that got like 2 million views. But let me, I'm not even kidding. Like, hold on, South Park AI controversy. Let me search it up.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, this South Park YouTuber has been lying to you, featuring LS Mark, Johnny Two Cellos, and the Simpson Fury. 1.3 million views. And bro, you should watch this video afterwards. It's a genuinely like really good and interesting video. I was like so invested in this drama, and I like followed every South Park creator. I am the Johnny Two Cellos guy. We follow each other back. He's a real cool guy, and it's like I know what you mean about like just wanting to follow the people who you got interest in us, and like there's no like it only makes sense to do these things, especially to me.
Yeah.
But I do that.
I noticed it on Twitch. Like I'll be like, if I'm interested in a game, it's like, oh, I followed 25 people that play the game, and then a few months later, I'm like, let me unfollow most of these people because I don't play that game anymore.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's happened so many times.
Do you do a thing with YouTube? Is there like specific niches that you'll like be addicted to for like a month or a week, then or like a channel, and then you'll be like a month later, like I've not seen that guy in ages. Like there's this one YouTuber, I don't want to name him because I'll sound mean, but I was like, addicted to the dude's videos. I went through like 30 of his videos in the space of a week, and then I just haven't watched him since. And I don't know why I do that, but I do it so often with so many content creators. And like now I'll be like subscribed to so many people who just don't watch, and I feel honestly kind of bad about it.
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm the same exact way. One channel that I think that explains that perfectly for me, and I've watched probably most of their videos. It's this channel called Nerdforge. Have you heard of them?
I have. I think I might be subscribed to Nerdforge. No, I'm not. But I have watched.
Build out these crazy things, right? They're an incredible channel, but they only release like a video a month, if that, right? Because these builds that they do. If anyone's watching this and you haven't watched Nerdforge, go watch their videos. They're incredible. Like there's so much. They're very enjoyable, and they are pretty long, but they're like ones that you actually want to watch.
Yeah.
But I'll go through phases, and I like almost intentionally forget about them. Not like they really do, but like I'll almost intentionally forget about them for a few months, because then I can go back and like watch videos that like the 4 videos I've missed, right? And like recently me and Amanda have been watching them together. And it's like fun. It's fun because we both enjoy them, and they're just fun. They're fun to watch. They're very interesting. But no, I know exactly what you mean. 100%.
Yeah. No, it's like I think it is definitely like an ADHD thing, like 100%. Like I just I finally like for the first time, because it's like such a heavy topic, but I finally looked into the whole Free Britney stuff. I've never got anywhere near it. Like I'm never going to do a video on it. I don't know enough, but like I finally
watched that now.
Yeah, I know, right? But I watched a documentary on Netflix about it, and I was like, shit, this is crazy. Like I've never been like big into like Britney Spears' music, but like I remember her growing up as like the biggest icon. She was like, honestly, like I don't know if it's like controversial to say, but she felt like our generation's like pop female version of Michael Jackson. Like that level like of popularity. She was fucking everywhere. And like this documentary was like so crazy, and now I feel like I'm just gonna like go on like a deep dive into YouTube videos, just going through all of it, and I'm gonna discover like a million other different things.
Dude, the best way that I can explain the feeling of finding a new hyperfixation and being like, I'm gonna fuck this up, right? is like it feels like a drug. It's like I found something that makes life worth living. Yeah. Like that's what it feels like. And it's like I'm gonna go in. That's why it's like with the Marvel Rival stuff, I just can't because I know it will ruin my life. No, not really, but like I understand myself enough now to where it's like that being hyperfixated on that and spending a lot of time, it will, for me personally, it's just, I don't need to do that. There are many other things, like that's why with drumming has been, for me, and I've talked about this before, right? It's been such a positive hyperfixation because I feel that I am I'm improving in my art and like actually doing something that I've always wanted to be a better drummer since, I started playing drums when I was like a sophomore in high school. So like 14 years old, and I've always wanted to be better. And so it's like having something that I can be hyperfixated on and not feel guilty is really nice.
Yeah.
But like with like Marvel Rivals, if I did the same thing, I would feel guilty, and I just, I need to just not do that.
Yeah, no, I completely get where you're coming from, and I think like the problem is like when something like isn't real, when it's a video game, I do feel like bad after a while. Like have you heard of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? It just came out.
Yep.
I've been like hooked on that recently, and like when I'm playing it,
you're playing it? Oh, okay,
dude.
What do you think about it?
I fucking love it. I didn't like it at first though. That's what's interesting. I really didn't like it because it was too hard. I was like, bro, this is like ridiculous. Like this was like, it's like it's almost like a life simulator. It's not, but it kind of feels like that. Like you have to eat like to stay alive. You've got to like sleep when you're getting tired and all that sort of shit. You've got to like if you kill someone or get in a fight with someone, you've got to go and have a bath or a shower or something, because like if you walk past someone and you've got like blood like down your face, you know that like image of Homelander where he's like covered in blood? It's kind of like that, like speaking to somebody, your character's just fucking drenched in blood, and they will like react to you in different ways. And like I've never really played an RPG like this before, where like everything you do like has an impact on the story and the overall game. But like I've never played a game like this deep in terms of like everything you do impacts the story no matter what. Even if you like, say if you're like trying to trade with like a salesman and like you try to barter the price to get it a little bit lower and they get mad at you, like they're not going to speak to you for the rest of the day, and like that's going to lower your reputation in the town and stuff like that. And now because I've like beat a few people up to steal their stuff, I go through certain towns, they're like, we know who you are, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking sorry about doing that shit, man. But yeah, I've got about 21 hours in it in the space of probably 2 weeks, I'd say, which is quite a lot, I think, for one game. But I'm really enjoying it, man.
Yeah, it's one of those games that I know that I've watched reviews on it, and like there's some of my favorite, I guess we'll just talk about YouTubers we like.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite YouTubers are they basically, oh man, I mean there was a lot of drama about them actually.
Oh god, really?
But it was, well, not them, but it was Friends Per Second is their name of their podcast.
Yeah.
And so the podcast is Skill Up. Jake Baldino, or like he
I love
runs the
Jake.
channel. Yeah. Game Ranks. He's really cool. I like him a lot. And then there's Lucy, who I think she's not a YouTuber, but she works like in games media. But they also had the Completionist on the podcast, and he used to be one of their.
I didn't know that.
One of the co-hosts. Yeah, and so. For those of you that don't know, there was some pretty serious drama about the Completionist and his charity, that he basically had a charity and he had been doing it for years with his family, and he had raised, I think it was like over $1 million, over a lot of money over a good amount of years.
It was like a big thing.
Yeah,
like
it was a big thing. I'm sure most people have heard about this, right? But he ended up allegedly never donating any of the money at all, because in his kind of response was he wanted to make sure it was the best donation to the best place, and like they got all the money instead of it going to fees and stuff. But he had been holding on to this money for years and years and years, and it kind of came out in some people made some videos about it, and it came out, and he did a response, which was
it was mainly between him and Mutahar, right?
Mutahar and Carl Jobst, I think is his name. I think he was one of the other people doing a lot of the research. He makes great videos too. He does a lot. You can tell he does a lot of research in his videos. But that was crazy, because I watched a lot of Friends Per Second. I still do, and it was very bizarre. Because normally I'll see like drama and I'm like, how do people not see that? You know what I mean? Like, it's close, so obvious. Yeah. But I was just like, wow, this is like, it was very strange. Like I watched a few of Completionist videos, but I wasn't like, I wouldn't say I was a huge Completionist fan, but I watch a lot of Skill Up videos, and I watch a lot of Jake Baldino videos as Game Rank stuff.
Yeah. Jake Baldino's at the side of YouTube that I watch, at the video game, like people that talk about video games, like him, Mr. Matty Plays. There's this other dude, some Luke Stevens, I think is his name.
Oh yeah.
I love all those guys' content, because it's just like they're all usually like quite long videos, and it's just like video game stuff. Like I don't think I could ever make videos like that, not because I don't like it. It's just like I don't even know what the fuck I'd say. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm like, dude, it's fun, dude.
Yeah.
And then just say that for 30 minutes. Like, dude, hey, but like you could do this, bro. Pretty sick.
Bro, what's interesting about that like whole video game space though is like as you said, it's so dramatic. Like, you can give an opinion that people don't like, and like that could like alter the whole trajectory of your like career.
Dude,
like, people,
it's gnarly.
Yeah, there's content creators who get like genuinely like called out for like being like a shill and stuff like that just because they liked something. And like now with like the whole culture war shit going on,
dude,
because
that's a big part of it, man.
Yeah, because gaming has such a conservative audience in it, and it like there's like it almost feels like 50-50 at times, you know.
Oh yeah, and there's like the quintessential gamer dudes that are like, ew, dude, there's a woman in this game and she's strong. That's not real.
They got no gay people. Yeah, like
is their skin not white? Ugh, that's not possible. Like there is literally an entire industry of dudes that make videos about this, and I can almost guarantee you that so many of these guys don't actually care about this in the game.
It's like
they know if they post that and that's the thumbnail and that's the title, so many people are like, yeah, dude, it's freaking stupid. Like, it's like crazy.
It's like the people like Star Wars. Like, here's why I hate this Star Wars show and this Star Wars movie and this Star Wars book. I've read all the fucking books. I've watched all the movies. I've watched all the Disney Plus shows. But I promise you, I hate this show, guys. I hate this franchise. It's like you've actually given more money to Disney and Lucasfilm than the people that casually like Star Wars. Like, bro, I think a lot of the stuff Star Wars put out nowadays is kind of bad. But like, there's like a whole, as you said, a whole different community of these people who just like, the moment there's like some culture war shit going on in these things, it's like, oh, I'm gonna make my money. Even with this Kingdom Come 2 thing, they put the ability, not like there wasn't like this character's gay. It's like, no, you can possibly make your guy romance other men if you want to, you know. It's a life fucking simulator in the 1400s. You can do that if you want to in the game. And there was like, this game's woke, man. Like, we gotta cancel this shit, bro. And it's like, do we? Like, fuck it out. But like, the game actually is doing really well, thankfully. But it kind of feels like no matter what, if it's like a video game or like a movie, there's just like that conservative group of people who, in some cases, my favorite thing is when they like don't even like, they have never had any interest in a certain franchise, and then the moment they hear this franchise has got like a gay character or even like a non-white character or something like that, they lose their shit and they're like, oh, I've actually been a massive fan of this thing since I was a kid, guys, and I'm personally devastated by this. And it's like, you're such a grifter. It's unbelievable. It's so
100%, dude. Yeah, and that whole thing is crazy. But like, going back to the completionist stuff, I think that the way that they that's fine. The way that they handled the whole situation, because they basically like came on and were like, yo, you know, there's some serious allegations, and we talked to, I think his name's Gerard, the completionist, and you know, he's not going to be a host anymore. And then they were like, we're not going to talk about it anymore, and they just moved on, you know. And I thought they handled it really well, because I can't even imagine that, just like how that would affect them. And I'm just curious what the behind the scenes was like, and how, I don't know, it's just, the whole thing is crazy. Like, having that much money and just never donating is just so bizarre. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, from what I saw, it doesn't seem like he spent a ton of the money and like wasted it, and like, but it's confusing. I just don't, it's just weird. Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say the guy's like a terrible guy or anything, but like, it is like, I feel like when you get involved in charity work, you need to make sure that you're doing everything right, because like, even if you have good intentions, at the end of the day, more people are inclined to give you money for your charity than they are to buy merchandise, you know? Oh, yeah. And I feel like it's now your responsibility to put that money into the pockets of where people thought that money was going to go, you know, not into your own pocket or to let it rot in your pocket or something like that. And also, I think there's a big problem there too of with inflation, of that money is sat in a bank account of where the value of like, say, the dollar is changing, and like, now that money is not worth what it was 10 years ago, if you know what I mean. So now it's like, oh, that if anything, there's been a decrease in value in people's investment into this charity. Is like that, it's almost like he's lost money unintentionally for whatever charity he was originally planning to give it to. But yeah, I don't know too much about it. I remember watching the videos, but I can't really remember that much, to be honest with you.
It's just bizarre, like, because I understand, like, because there was these live streams that it was like, oh, people are donating and we've raised this much money, but none of the money was given to any sort of charity, and like, at least I think now it has, but like for years it hadn't, right? It's just kind of weird. And so it was just like, I think if you were to look at it as charitably as possible, it was negligence, right? Just being like, because I think like his response was not that his intentions were always to donate it, but because a lot of charities and a lot of like nonprofits that you end up giving a lot of money to, 30% will go to the salary of these companies, and there's all these like random like little fees that get taken out, and then if you don't donate a specific amount, if it's like a small amount, it doesn't do as much, so it makes more sense to hold the money and then do a huge donation. But it was almost like you're never going to find the perfect moment. And it was like, you just have to, like, at some point you just have to donate the money because he's just sitting in an account, like so much money just sitting in an account.
I think it was $655,000. I think that's what I'm reading, because I just clicked on his recent video, and like, he's just getting cooked, bro. Like, it's like he uploaded it like a month ago, I think, and it's like 20,000 dislikes to 2,000 likes. The top comment is, "Gentlemen, we did it. The completionist has been completed. Career completed ? But yeah, apparently he's suing a GTA Online role-playing server too.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I don't know anything about the guy. But I can just see there was a video a month ago by that Carl Jobs guy. The completionist is in huge trouble. Someone Gamers also made a video on it. But I need to catch up on that. I only know the basic level of the drama, to be honest with you. But yeah, I
was slightly, I think, more invested than I would have normally been, because I was like, at first when I heard it, I was like, no way. Like, obviously it's just like he made some mistakes, but like the more and more stuff that's come out, it's like you're making a lot of mistakes, brother. Like, at some point it's like, what are you doing here? Like, come on, man.
It's like at that point, like, we've got to start thinking like, man, you're either a bad guy or not. And it's like, just give the fucking money to charity, bro. Just give it to the charity. Like, it can't be that hard. Like, has he donated it? Like, is he confirmed that he has, or what?
I don't know. I think so. I don't know. I don't want to make a claim, because if I did watch a video where it talked about it, it was quite a while ago at this point, so I don't really fully know.
If you're not going to donate it to the charity, bro, just give it to me. Like, I'll do something with it. John
speaking of charity, I'm going to be doing a charity live stream. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going to be
for
doing
Valorant
it.
Skins?
No, okay. It's for the American Heart Association. But I won't have any access to the money, okay? So all the money, I don't have any access. Don't worry, guys.
I'll be looking after it for him.
But I'm actually, so if I hit a certain amount, I'm going to cut my hair.
Oh shit, really? Like, how short? Like bald?
So, no. So I wanted, because I've done bald hair a bunch of times. Like, I've shaved my head. So I wanted to do something like different. So I gave the option. I put it on my community post.
Mohawk.
I put a community post out. No, so I gave 4 options. So it was modern mullet. This thing, what's called a wolf cut, which you could look it up, or if you go to my community post, you can see all the pictures.
I know what wolf cut is.
Okay. I could do a perm. Right? Perm my hair.
I know what a wolf cut is, but I don't actually know what a perm is. Hold on, let me look.
It would just make my hair very curly.
Oh,
right?
okay. And that would be interesting to see.
Yeah, one was just like the regular kind of like 90s heartthrob, like side, like middle part type thing.
You should go for the 2007 like emo haircut. Could you pull that off?
Dude, I don't know. But everyone voted for wolf cut. So if I hit a specific donation goal, I'll be cutting my hair. And so that's
sick.
Up. So
that's fucking sick.
Donate, everyone.
Yeah, I'll be sure to. When is that?
That's coming. I think it's Friday.
Awesome. Yeah. You doing like a long ass live stream for it then?
I'm gonna be I'm doing a live stream, and I'm going to be interviewing this guy named Scotty, he's the one that's kind of putting it all on.
Yeah.
And he has children that are kind of, I think one of them has a heart like defect or something. I don't know fully.
Yeah.
But the whole reason is I'm going to interview him and talk about the whole thing. And we're just going to share our stories and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a live stream on YouTube.
That's awesome.
But
everyone goes there. If you don't go there, you hate charity.
Yeah, I don't have any access to the money. Okay, no one worry. It goes straight. It goes straight. Because I guess they were saying the American Heart Association, because we're working with them, like we've had a bunch of meetings. They like YouTube the most because YouTube, I guess Google, like they just give them 100% of the money.
Yes.
They don't like a lot of like Twitch and all of these other places that not Twitch, but like because with Twitch you have to do it through another company. They'll take a small percentage because they have to be able to be able to run the whole thing. And so, but with YouTube giving, apparently they just all of it just goes straight to the charity, which is cool, I guess.
Yeah, I've done a few charity streams in the past, and YouTube is always the best for it. Just because, as they said, you give away 100%. I did. I actually worked directly with YouTube a few years ago during Pride Month on a charity thing, which was pretty cool. I can't remember how much we raised, but from what I remember, it was pretty decent. But everyone, please make sure to be there on Friday because charity, it matters. And it won't be going into John's bank account, I promise.
yeah, I swear, okay?
Maybe a couple skins, who knows?
Who knows, you know?
It's not a free service.
You might see me on Marvel Rivals with a 6 skin, who knows, you know?
You just got like another like setup in the background. You're just like playing it. Like it's like too addicted to that. But I think 47 minutes in, we should finally talk about the main topic of this. We should finally talk about some topics. This is...
Brother.
Yeah.
When you sent me this podcast, I watched most of it while I was doing cardio this morning. And I think my face the entire time was like...
Yeah.
That. I was just like, ugh, what is this, dude?
It is pretty gross, man. And like we've covered Ash Trevino once on here, and we went into quite a lot of detail. But if you guys don't know who Ashley Trevino is, she's a TikToker, formerly known as a TikTok inmate hopper. But at this point, I feel like she's known for a million other things. She's arguably the most controversial influencer like right now to talk about. And recently she went on a podcast with Camilla. I can't remember her last name. So I'm just going to let me Google it because I feel kind of disrespectful if I don't get it up. Camilla Araya. I don't know how to pronounce that. Apologies. But yeah, went on the podcast called The Worst Mom on TikTok, Ash Trevino 4 podcast. It got 9 million views in less than 2 weeks, and just in general, it went down pretty badly for Ash Trevino, I'd say. I think the thing that really interested me more than it really would usually is the fact that her kids were on the podcast, which I think is crazy.
I think that was unnecessary, man. Like, it just felt weird, dude. Like, apparently the older daughter has a pretty big following, like almost 1 million followers, at least when they were recording.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Now. But like, it just felt weird. And like the weirdest thing was that she kept referring to them as like the older one, the younger one. And I'm like, they're literally sitting right next to you. Like clear, like I could understand if this was a normal person that didn't want to share their kids, right? And share their information, didn't want to share their names. Brother, she has shared everything about everything, right? So it just felt weird to not use that was the weirdest part. Like, I just think my mom calling me the middle one, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, use my name. Like, why are you calling me the middle one? Like,
but even like,
weird.
but it's like, just the idea of them being on there to me, like I'm kind of mixed on it because in my video, which I did about it, I said that I'm glad in a way because it gives the kids like an opportunity to speak for themselves because like she's not in control of the conversation. She can't just mute the microphone like and tell them to leave or something like that. They're actually like all there for an open conversation and there is a host. So like it was interesting because it kind of like allowed the kids to actually speak their mind. And also I think it just kind of like allowed everyone to kind of have like a brief understanding of their relationship with their mother because the mum.
Let's give an overview of what the podcast was because we didn't really give much of an overview.
Yeah.
And so like what the podcast was it was this woman Camilla who is her own. I guess she's had her own controversies as well in the past.
I didn't know who she was. Is she like a? Because like I wasn't like glazing her in the video, but I was like I think she did a good job and I think she was pretty funny. Yeah. I didn't know she had controversies.
Yeah, apparently there was like some weird stuff with her brother and like OnlyFans and like just weird like being way too comfortable talking about very personal matters with like a younger underage brother.
I followed her Instagram just because like I'm making a video about someone, probably should follow her. And then I like clicked on a few of her like reels and stuff and it was like she was like, it was like she went up to like a pink car and she was like, the car's pink and I'm pink, and you know what she's referring. And I was like scrolling for a few more and I was like, yeah, I think I should unfollow. I was like, I don't think like I really, I'm not here to goon, man. I'm not a gooner. I promise.
Yeah. But so she had Ash Trevino and her kids on, and the conversation was, like, it was relatively candid, but it was also like kind of awkward, right? Like the thinking about how she interacts with her kids, it doesn't feel like a mother and her children. It feels like an older sister and younger sisters. That's like the vibe I got. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to give at least a little bit of an overview so people are like, what are they talking about?
It is interesting you say the mother sister thing. Like a sister sort of relationship with the mother, like, because she has said in the past that her older daughter is like her mother in senses, like she tells her what to do and like stops her from doing ridiculous things, and it's like, I kind of like imagine that was like a playful remark that she said in like a TikTok, but like it actually does kind of feel like there isn't a mother-daughter relationship there, like an actual proper one. It very much feels like she views these kids as like not her kids and more just, I don't really know, like not like an object, but like they're there and that's it, and she's just kind of got to deal with them. And there were some really interesting things that she did and said on the podcast. Like the one thing, like that kind of like even the host was kind of shocked, and the host is someone who now I know makes a lot of sexual jokes, but like
she's not like some like very pious and like, oh
she's
my
not
God,
prude.
I can't believe that she's not a prude. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and there was like a moment where Ash is like talking about this guy that she's dating, and she's like, oh yeah, he's gonna find out how it smells, and the kid's just like, and even the mum is, even the host is like, did you just say that in front of your kids? Dude. Like 12-year-old kid, by the way, or something like that. 12 and 14, 15-year-old kid. Yeah. And when I was watching it, I was like, bro, why would you even say that? Like, I don't know about you, but like, I know some people are like comfortable speaking about like sexual things with their parents, like in terms of like, like they'll talk about like when they're younger about like safe sex and stuff like that. And like if a parent asks like when you're younger, like did you have sex with your boyfriend or something like that, because you need to know about based on safety and like open conversations and stuff. But there's a difference between talking about like safe sex and your parent making like fucking sexual remarks in front of you and stuff like that. I don't know about you, but if my parents were making jokes like that, I would be like, I'm a bit uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is she obviously had her first child when she was pretty young.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times when that happens, obviously you're very stunted, I think, when you have a kid very young. And then I think a lot of times you end up relying. I have kind of experience with this with my family, so I'm not just speaking out of my butt right here. But like I think a lot of times because you almost need to rely on your parents to help you parent your children because you're still literally a child. And then you end up being stunted, right? Yeah. Like you're stuck at when you had the kid. And I think with her, especially with the TikTok stuff, like it's so obvious that she craves attention and being seen as cool for her age, as well as, I mean, there's a whole note which we can get into with like, I want to date people that are, apparently she was talking to someone that was 19. She says she didn't know it at the time, but like, and she did stuff with that person, and now her current boyfriend's like 22 and like very, very young, right? And it's just, so I think like she craves being accepted by almost like the younger crowd, because I think she feels that she missed so much of her life when she had her first child, right?
Well, she has spoken about this before, stating that, there was like a quote she made being like, I only begun my partying life 5 years ago. And I'm like, bro, 5 years ago? And in it, she's like, yeah, I'm early into my partying life. And I'm like, bro, when I went through my party era, so I think for me, it was like 16 years old, I started drinking, maybe 15. I don't know, bro. That might be a bit weird for you because like Americans, it's like a bit crazy over there. But in Britain, you got like 14-year-olds drinking in parks, man. I had friends who were 13 and drinking. Like, it's not good. It's bad. It's like, it shouldn't happen. But it's just this. We have a toxic drinking culture in Europe, especially in Britain. But yeah, for me, it was like 16, doing house parties and stuff like that. Went to uni at 18. Went clubbing. Really enjoyed it. But then after like a year, I was like, this shit sucks. And then I kind of like knuckled down a bit. And like, here and there I'd go out and stuff like that. I prefer going to bars. I like going for a drink in a bar. But that's like kind of different. But like, I wouldn't say like I'm in a partying lifestyle that lasted for 5 years. Whereas Ash, she's 36 and she's been partying since she was 31 with 2 kids who would have been about 9 and 12. No, yeah, like 9 and, I don't know, 9 years old. Let's just say that. And it's kind of interesting because like, I think you're very much right in the sense of like, when you become a parent, so let's say she would have become a parent at, I believe, like 21 years old, which isn't the youngest, but it also, I feel like when you're 21,
yeah, I mean, that's true. It isn't that young,
but when
so I feel like it makes my excuse less.
No. I do think that when you're 20, like I think it's kind of strange though because like our parents having kids at 21, that back then was normal. But I think like there is a reason why there's so much high divorce rates and so many single parents because it's been so normal to get pregnant and have kids at 21 and plan for that at that age. But the reality is at 21 years old, you don't have the life experience like to bring someone into the world perfectly. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm sure there are amazing parents at 20 and 21 years old and younger. But at the end of the day, you don't have the life experience of a 29 or 30-year-old. And I think that can cause a lot of issues, and that can lead to your parents having to co-parent almost your child because you haven't experienced the world. You've only been an adult for oh so long. I mean, me at 21, bro, if I had a kid, that would have been my fucking worst nightmare. And I'm not trying to insult like younger parents. I'm just saying that it's going to be so much more difficult. Like it will, because you don't have that experience and you don't, you just don't know what you're doing in a sense. I know the same at 29 can be said about you have a kid. You still won't know what you're doing. You're still learning about being a parent, but at least you have that other life experience to kind of like, you're more financially stable. You've had that, there's no longing to go out and party. You're not going to be looking at your friends when you would at 21. They're all having fun and you've got your kid to deal with. And it's like, and I think Ash clearly went through that phase of like, she probably lost quite a lot of her life. She got married very young and she had these kids at quite a young age, and now she's trying to recuperate that. And I think that's like, it's not the worst thing to want to like, live your life and stuff like that. And I'm not saying you can't do that as a parent, but you have to do it responsibly. You have to prioritize your kids. But Ash clearly isn't doing that. And on this podcast, I think it represented it in probably the most clear example that she's done so far.
Yeah, and I think like with parents, like the one thing that I've heard the most, right, because I don't have any kids either, is that it forced them to grow up, right? And I think anyone can be a good parent, right? Yeah. And you could have your kid at 16 and end up being a fantastic parent, right? I think just like when you are younger, you are faced with more hurdles and there are more things that you have to get over. Yeah. And it's not that you can't. You absolutely can. And I think that if you do, you end up becoming the best parent possible, right? Because you have jumped over all these hurdles and climbed all these mountains to be a good parent, right? But it seems that with Ash, being a good parent, I think what you're about to bring up, it's clear that that's not, at least it doesn't seem like that's priority number one.
Yeah, it seems that her main priorities are hanging out with 19-year-olds. She says in it that she didn't know that Santos was 19. I don't know
I thought he was 21. Oh,
yeah,
okay,
I know, right? Like, let's be real here. Like, it's not illegal, but it is weird. Yeah. Like, I know people will get like mad, like some people anyway, being like, that's not a crime. You shouldn't like falsely. I'm not falsely accusing her of anything, but I'm saying, if I had a friend who was 36 dating a 19-year-old or a 21-year-old, I would be like, mate, surely there are a few people out there a bit closer to your age, like 21 and 26.
Dr. Disrespect in shambles right now.
Yeah. Like, a lot of YouTubers, honestly, man. Fucking stay away, Minecraft YouTubers. But yeah, so the 19-year-old thing's kind of crazy. I think what's also crazy is like her, I've spoken about it multiple times, but her like, the fact that she's like introduced her kids to so many violent criminals in prisons, and in this podcast it gets brought up and she kind of just like brushes it aside, almost being like, oh, that was just in the past or something like that. And another thing I want to mention is she there was like a bit of where the kids get asked, I believe, like it was something like, do you think that your mom exploits situations for views? And she's like, the kids are like, yeah, our situations. The kid was like ill and Ashley went onto TikTok live. I think she said that her kid was in hospital and she was asking for donations and stuff like that. The kid wasn't in hospital. The kid was just ill. But she went onto a fucking live stream to say, oh, please donate to me. Please donate to me. And the kids, like, even they knew at 15, 12 years old, that shit is bad. Like, you can't fucking do that. And she did. And even in this podcast, she was like, oh, it was in the past. Yeah, I haven't done that since. And it's like, well, you have. I've seen, like, she says that in this podcast as well. And I think she keeps on saying, it's like, I never speak about my kids. I never bring my kids. My kids are never in my streams. It's like, who the fuck are you lying to, bro? I can search your name on TikTok and in every single clip, the kids are basically mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, the whole thing is it's just crazy how your priorities can be so skewed as a parent. Like, I think one of the craziest things was like one of the notes that you wrote down was that like earlier at one point in this podcast, she's bragging about how all of her purses are real designer purses, real Gucci. She has like an app that shows that it's a real purse and real handbag, and she has all these different luxury things, right? And then she even says, "Oh, when I'm not jealous of my daughter," because that's another thing they bring up a lot.
Oh, this bit's
like,
crazy.
Oh, she's so jealous, but she's like, I bought her when she hit 100 or 800,000 followers. I got her a Gucci bag, whatever, right? But then it comes out that they don't even have beds at home.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to bring up the dad thing where she's like, when she was like bragging to her kids about being with the dad or something like that. Sorry.
There's just so much, man.
Yeah.
But like the bed thing just blew my mind because it was like your priorities are just so skewed, right? Like where you will buy yourself these bags, and then you'll also buy this 15-year-old kid who, like, let's be real, does she really care that much about like? But then they don't have a bed at home. And then it's just immediately she's going into reasons why. And like, oh, because they're not even here that much. But then also she talks about how she's annoyed because people say that her kids don't live with her and they're always at their grandparents' house. And it's like, well, what's the truth, man? Like, what is actually happening here?
I actually did the calculations in my video about it of like how much she earns from live streams, just based on like averages and stuff. So yeah, in the podcast, she says that she's earned $12,000 from a 2-hour live stream before on TikTok Live. And honestly, I've got to get on fucking TikTok Live, bro.
Okay, but what is wrong with who is sending that money? What is wrong with these people?
We need to fucking like send these people to Guantanamo Bay or some shit, man. Like they put an actual use to that island, and like these are the people that need to go there, bro. The people that donate to Ashley Trevino's.
But before, give me your bank account details.
Yeah, that's more important. Yeah, just like maybe to like offset going to this like awful place, just maybe donate all the money to us. We'll make better use of it, man. Like it'll go on skins on video games. So like
yeah, exactly.
Rather than a bed for a child.
Although, dude, like when she said she made $12,000 in 2 hours, $6,000 an hour, like
So I calculated of like if we're making like an average of like say she makes $8,000 a live stream from 2 hours work, say she does 3 streams a week, that's 24 hours a month work. And if you times all these things together by like 12 months, she is earning around $1.1 million a year From 288 hours work, she is earning $1.1 million from sitting on a fucking live stream. I don't even know doing what. I've seen these streams. I've made 3 videos about Ashley Trevino. All of them are like over an hour's long. And I still cannot tell you what this woman does, like in terms of contribution to society. If you come to my videos, you're going to get a video about some situation on the internet. Same for you. If you go to like a completionist video, you're going to get a video where he completes something. If you go to a CoffeeZilla video, you're going to get a video about a crypto scam, But if you go to an Ashley Trevino stream, what are you going to get? Her getting her tits out on camera when a 19-year-old's there? Like, because that's something she did. But that was another bit she speaks about when she's speaking about her getting fired. Did you get to that bit?
Yeah.
That bit there, it's like the lack of responsibility in every single section of the podcast is crazy. Like, she's like blaming everyone else for her getting fired from her 9 to 5. She was working this 9 to 5 in December of 2024 when she was massive on TikTok. And it's like, she says the reason was that her boss saw her getting her body parts out on camera. And it's like, I don't really think you can blame others for you getting your out on camera on a live stream to thousands of people.
Yeah, and I think the way that she was able to frame it was like someone sent it to them, and that's why. And it's just like, dude, you are making yourself a clown on the internet intentionally.
But it's like
you're gonna deal with those consequences. Yeah,
but it's like you have 1 million followers, bro. Like, people are going to find out about that. When I started doing YouTube, I have like 5,000 subs, and people at my uni found out about it. Like, that's like, and it like at 5,000 subs, like, imagine what it would be if you had 1 million followers on TikTok, and you're also like, you are the talking point of the town at that time, you know? And she was everywhere. It's like, obviously your boss is going to find out about you getting your out on camera, you know? Like, that's obviously going to happen. And to like blame everyone else, and it's like, every single aspect of the podcast, she blames someone else. And even with like the bed thing, like going back to that, the most important thing, her kids don't have fucking beds. That is crazy. And I brought this up in a video like a month ago that her kids don't have beds. And it was a big talking point then. And it's like, she's bragging on live streams about her new Gucci glasses, her new real Gucci bags. And it's like, I don't get, like, what is the reason why she hasn't brought the bed? Like, is there anything in your minds to know, like, why she wouldn't have bought this bed?
I mean, like, she brought up all of those excuses, like, oh, we're going to be moving soon, and the parents said they were going to get it. I think it's just laziness. Honestly, it's just laziness and being very, like, not caring about others, right? Not having that empathy and just being like, well, whatever. Like, it's no big deal. I don't know. It's the whole situation, man. It's just sad because I think that there are, I mean, now you can't even make this argument, right? But like, just because someone doesn't have a lot of money doesn't mean that they are a bad parent, right? And like, 100%. There are plenty of very good parents that come from not much, right? Like that's was me, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just frustrating because I feel like a lot of times people will use that as an excuse. But I mean, with her, it's like you can't even say that anymore because they have, like, they're clearly making a lot of money, and it just seems like laziness at this point. Just like being like, I just don't care. I just don't care.
Yeah, 100%. And like the thing when she's making the excuse of where she's like, oh yeah, my parents said they were going to buy it. And then it's like, oh, I don't have anyone to put it together. And it's like, bro, you just bragged about earning $12,000 over 2 hours. You can pay someone to put that shit together. Do you have TaskRabbit in the US?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we have that here. And it's like, it's so easy to go on there, pay someone like, I don't know, $100, and like they'll put it together for you in like 2 hours, bro. And it's like you can Amazon Prime that bed to you, and also on Amazon in the UK at least. I don't know if they have it in the US. They have like a thing of where you can pay £50 and they will put it together for you. Mm-hmm. So just do that. It's like if you could do that, if you wanted to, you could do that. And then the podcast co-host is like, I will buy a bed for you. Yeah. And she says, okay, sure. But then have you seen the recent stuff?
No. So that's why I'm excited for you to tell me about it. So I don't know anything other than the podcast. So I watched the podcast, but apparently there's been some other stuff that's gone on.
Well, after the podcast ends, she of course jumps onto a live stream because things did not go things didn't go down well for her, bro. Like, she was getting cooked in the comment sections and stuff like that. And she starts speaking about the bed because people are like, well, did Camilla buy you a bed? And she's like, I didn't want her to buy me a bed. I'm refusing the bed. And like, she's like basically stating word for word, she doesn't want Camilla to buy a bed for her. And then Camilla gets on her stream and she's basically saying that, yes, she's refused to take my money. She's refused to accept a bed or anything like that. And I don't know why. Like, there's this one clip going around of where she's like, yeah, I don't want them to have a bed because I want my house to remain tidy. And I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean, bro?
Yeah, and it's crazy how there's clearly a lack of, I don't know, it seems like there's a lack of understanding on her end of like, because it's so obvious when I'm watching the podcast that like, bro, you look horrible here. Like this makes you look terrible. And it seems like she's like, oh, this is going great. I'm having a great time. And we're laughing. And it's like, bro, she is laughing at you.
Yeah.
And how ridiculous you are. This is not like, I'm just curious. Maybe she's talked about it, the host of the podcast, but like how that even came about and why she was down to do this. Cause like it made her look horrible. I mean, maybe she knew that it would make her look horrible, but she knew it would also get a lot of views. And that's why, cause like you said, it has like 9 million views, which for a podcast is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, in 9 days too, by the way. Like, that's fucking nuts. I don't think, like, that's like bigger than like what Joe Rogan gets on the average. Like, and this Camilla person, like, she's relevant, don't get me wrong, but like, I don't think she's like the most relevant person on the planet. Like, I'm looking at videos right now, like, they get between like 300K and 1 million views, which is like good, obviously. That's really good. Like, you know, I that's like a standard popular YouTuber. But like 9 million views, like that shows how much people do not like this person. And what's interesting is the podcast also has 238,000 likes, and it's just because people are like, I won't lie, like I found it entertaining where it's like this woman is clearly mocking Ashley throughout the entire thing, like to her face. But like Ashley's, I don't know how to say it without getting in trouble with YouTube TOS, but like she's not the smartest tool in the shed, man. Like she's like not like if she was a car, she'd have like 20 horsepower. You know what I mean? like she's like she's not doing well, man. If she was a power drill, she'd be like a fucking tiny screwdriver. She
just doesn't. Yeah, it seems like there's definitely certain social cues I feel like she really struggles picking up on. And like it's weird because even it feels like her kids understood a lot more of the sarcasm coming from the host and stuff than she did.
Yes.
It's the only thing I can think of is either she is truly very much so struggles with social cues, or she is an incredible actress and just plays it off very well. That's like the only two explanations I can think of.
I was speaking to somebody about it, like who isn't a YouTuber, and I was like, what do you think about this? Because I was like, it has to be for attention, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense. Like, she's already getting attention. Why also make it so like CPS come and take your kids away from you? Because that's another thing that came after this. She came out claiming that she doesn't have custody over one of her kids, which in this podcast she says, I have custody over my kids. So like, is she lying? Is she just like deliberately like mistelling the truth where she knows it's going to bait people into getting like angry and stuff like that? I don't really know, because like how much bad press can lead to fame, you know? Like, she's already popular. I don't think she needs a CPS case, you know? Like, I don't know. It's a really confusing one. And another thing which she seems to be doing right now is beefing with her oldest child, the 15-year-old. I saw a clip of her. She got onto another live stream, and sorry, I need a drink. My nose is blocked. Like, speaking right, I have you know, like when you're like ill and your chest feels like really heavy. It's like speaking right now is like I'm like kind of a little bit breathless. So I need to say, dude, I'm like dying pretty much. But hold on.
Fraser's training for a marathon right now. He just doesn't know.
I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling. I said to myself, I'm gonna go for a run in the morning, see how I can how I can cope. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna die. That's the worst part of being ill, when you're like, especially when you have like a cold and it goes to your chest, when you feel like breathless. Yeah. I promise, guys, my fitness is fine. She was apparently beefing with her child. So she was in her clip being like, my kid like got on a stream saying that she's going to expose me when she turns 18. What has she got to expose? I don't know what she's going to expose. Like, I've loved you and taken care of you since you were a baby. And it's like, why are you on a fucking live stream beefing with your 15-year-old child? It would be weird if they were even an adult, but like, they're 15, bro. Like, what are you doing? And I don't know what really the context was. I just genuinely think it's a case of like her kid is starting to realize that their mum is not a good mum. And I think this podcast was probably like an epiphany of like, oh, yeah, this isn't like a good situation.
This isn't normal.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's one of the biggest things is like when you grow up in it, you just think this is normal.
Yeah.
And then when you have people on the outside, and maybe you're not going to be able to get that from like commenters and stuff like that, but say like the woman that did the podcast that hosted it is like saying this is not normal, and you're like, oh, this isn't just someone being mean. They're just being like, this is wrong, you know? And like, it's just, yeah, dude, the whole thing is it's just sad because it feels like for her, it is much more, all that matters is getting views and attention, and it's at the expense of literally everyone else in her life. And it's just like so bizarre because they were talking about, her love life and stuff, which is a whole thing. But she's like, I'm in a relationship with someone that's not in jail, which is great, and then they end up talking about this person, and he's 22 years old, I think. And like, they haven't even met, and they've talked about getting married. And I'm like, dude.
And he's also her biggest donator, which is fucking hilarious, bro.
Come on, man. Just use some common sense. Like,
and saying this in front of your kids as well. Like, obviously it's not inappropriate, but it's also, it's like, I don't know, man. If I was a parent, I don't think I'd be like telling my kids every aspect of my dating life, especially on a podcast where 9 million people are watching.
Well, dude, and then did you get? I mean, you obviously did, but the part where they were like, "Oh yeah, the new guy, we've talked to him. He's pretty good." And she was like, "Oh, how do you know that?" And she was like, "Oh, when I answered the phone and he asked for my mom, and I said that she's coming, he said, oh, okay, sounds good." And she was like, "That doesn't mean anything. What do you mean?" And she was like, "Well, the last guy, when I did that, he like freaked out, like never let your daughter answer the phone when I'm calling." And I was like, that whole dynamic is just so clearly wrong, right? Like the fact that this little girl sees someone responding in a literal normal way. Oh yeah, cool, no worries, I'll wait, or I'll call back in a little bit, as like, oh my God, he's so nice, instead of that's what's to be expected. Like that, the model that she has seen with every dude clearly has been unbelievably probably toxic and just horrible, that when someone shows the most basic level of being a normal human being, it's like, oh wow, he's great.
Yeah, and I do feel like there is like an underlining sad story with Ashley Trevino.
Oh yeah,
like I think it's like difficult because the more you speak about her and the more you think about all these things and like the irredeemable aspects, there's like moments of where she said on clips of like how she used to pull her kid's hair because she used to be jealous that her daughter was like her ex-husband, who is now passed away, he really got on with her kids because he's a good dad, and she used to pull her kid's hair because she was jealous. That's irredeemable stuff. But like, at the end of like, we've spoken about this a lot, how there has to be a cause and effect, and you need to talk about these things to like prevent these things from happening in the future and repeating. It's like it's like the quote from that historic quote of where it's like, those who do not read history or pay attention to history are doomed to repeat history. And I think here it's like, it's another case of that. If you don't talk about why she's like this, then it's just going to keep on repeating. And it's like, yeah, it's funny to clown on this person, but there is clearly a lot of issues with Ashley that she needs to go to a fucking therapist and explore. Like the fact that, as you said, it's not normal to her that a guy is treating her with basic respect and basic empathy and understanding, and it's not someone who's just shouting at her and getting angry and flipping out at her. That's like that's worrying. And like the fact that she's introducing her kids to these people as well, and her style of parenting as well, that surely has to come from somewhere. There are surely some unexplored issues that she has. That I'm not trying to diagnose her with something, but I'm saying that there's clearly things that have happened in her life that I don't think she's explored yet. And I think sadly, she now probably is never going to do that, because she's now on this platform of where she's built this empire of where I feel like she's at a point of where she just feels like she can do no wrong because she's rich, she's famous, she's on these podcasts with millions of views, you know. In a weird way, it's only validating her whole process in life because, everyone's calling me this and that, but at the end of the day, I'm earning $12,000 on a live stream. There's all these haters, but I've got my Gucci bags, I've got my Gucci glasses, my Gucci sandals, my Gucci suits, you know, my Gucci flight tickets. Like, she's going everywhere, man. Like, she's, you know, she's moving house. She's probably just bought a nice house for herself. And it's like, to her, these are just nothing but redemptions. But that can't last forever.
Yeah.
And when
especially TikTok. Like,
yeah.
And with how volatile she is,
That's what,
and how the chances of her getting banned, like, dude.
When that crashes down, it's gonna be a landslide. Like, it's not gonna be like a very slow petering out of, like, you know how it works on YouTube. Like, you can be really doing well and it slowly goes down, and then, you know, the wave comes up again and it goes down and comes up. Whereas TikTok seems to me to be a thing of like you start your account massively up and then down. Occasionally, 1 in a million, there will be somebody that rides the waves and stuff like that. But even then, those TikTokers, the TikTokers that were relevant 4 years ago, I don't think any of them are relevant now. You know what I mean? Whereas the
Unless they moved somewhere else to YouTube or something.
Yeah, 100%. Whereas the YouTubers that were relevant 4 years ago, most of them are still relevant. Mr. Beast is still the guy, you know? Like, the Sidemen are still around. Like,
completionist. Oh, wait.
You know, Cody Ko. You know, these guys are still killing it, man. Not to disrespect, that guy is.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Yeah, you know, the Dream SMP. That shit's still going really well. But no, you know what I mean. But yeah. So I think with her, the crash out is gonna be crazy, and when she's not earning money from it, I don't know where she's going to be. Like, it'll be a dark place, bro, because when influencers who are paid for being controversial lose the money that they were getting at the time, they'll start to do things which are even crazier than before to get those views. And, like, it's worrying to even, like, hypothesize over what she will do to get those views, man. Because I've seen lolcows do things for views. We speak about we're not saying her name today. I've decided we're not saying her name.
We refuse
in this episode. But we've seen certain influencers who do things for views, and it goes to dark territories, man.
Yeah, and like, it's just, I think that's what it goes into what you were saying earlier, and what's so interesting is, like, what does she add, right? Because, like, with most even YouTubers, right, there's like content they're making, regardless of if you like it or not, whatever, right? But like with her, so have you ever, maybe I'm exposing you, but have you ever gone into one of her live streams as she was streaming?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
What is going on in it? Like, what is the content?
It's like she sat there eating, I don't know, doing her makeup or something like that, listening to music. It's always music on in the background. She may be dancing or something like that. And then she's just talking to the camera, doing donation battles. And the main things that'll be going on is, like, she'll be talking about drama. Like, oh, the drama of the week. What's Santos doing now? What's this new 19-year-old I'm doing? Like, no, I'm not even kidding, bro. Like, she went to, like, fucking Texas or somewhere in Texas. I think it might have been San Antonio. No. There was like multiple trips. I think it might have been a San Antonio trip. She went out on a trip where there was a bunch of 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds and possibly even younger than that. And they were all hanging out for the weekend. And she was like making like sexual jokes towards some of the people there who turned out to be like 18 and stuff like that. Once again, she claimed that she didn't know their age and all that good stuff. And like her streams will be like talking about the latest drama. So now it's talking about her drama with her kid, talking about her drama with Camilla, because Camilla's now made some TikToks and videos like responding to Ashley and stuff like that. So she'll just be getting on live stream talking about dramatic things. And like, she got originally famous because she was talking about her involvements with violent prisoners and her defending prisoners who had killed people and stuff like that. So yeah, the whole thing is just controversy and controversy and controversy in every single one.
So it just, it just relies on that people caring, one, right?
Yeah.
That's a big one, because eventually people aren't going to care. That's just how it works. When you're a creator, if you want to call it that, but you're someone that your following is based on you being controversial, eventually you're just old news. It just does not last, right? Like I just don't think it's possible for a creator or someone that makes content like that to last forever, because eventually people they've seen everything you're gonna do, and then you might get like this little bump from like something crazy that you do, but then it just dies out, right? Like, and so I'm very curious to see what the, as all the kids say, the crash out is going to look like, because it's definitely not going to be good. And I really do feel for her children and stuff, because it's just like, that has to be so embarrassing, man. Like, maybe they don't want to admit it. It almost, when I was watching the podcast, it felt like they wanted to, kind of, but I almost feel if they said that they were, she would have just laughed anyways. Like, it's not like they got a bed. Like,
they even have a bed to get taken away from them, bro. Like,
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna take away your carpet under the bed. Like,
but no,
I'm taking away your sleeping bag
if they have one, bro. Like, I can't imagine like what it's like to be those kids. And it's interesting because I speak in my video, I'm like, these kids are in the dream scenario. Like ideally, like think about it logistically here. Like, when I was a kid, I don't know about you, but like, I just occasionally would be like, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if we won the lottery or something like that? If mum got a lottery ticket, we won it, become millionaires. Every kid wants to be rich, and especially if you're poor, you want to be rich. And I'm not saying they were poor beforehand, but like the idea of becoming rich, your mum and dad getting rich, and you can get whatever you want, sounds amazing. These kids are now in that spot of where their mum is famous, they're rich, they can have everything they want. But in the podcast, the kids word for word say that they wish they could go back to their life beforehand. Do you know how crazy that is, bro? Imagine like when you were a kid or when I was a kid, and like somebody says to you, your mum's gonna be making millions from 24 hours work a month. You're like, fucking hell, that's amazing. I can spend time with my mum because she's not working all of the time. She's making millions of dollars. We can go on cool holidays. I can get what I want. My mum can have everything. There's no debt. But these kids have said they want to go back to their life beforehand, which is crazy, and a real like actual representation of like they are not enjoying this. Like, any kid to say that in that position, they clearly do not want to be there.
Yeah, and I mean, you could even see it in the podcast. Like, you could just tell that they're not people that want to be in front of a camera, really. Like, you could tell they felt kind of like weird, and they felt a little awkward, which, I mean, when you're a kid, it's just, things are awkward, but I really do feel for them. And I wonder, like, if there is some sort of exit plan, like if she's thought about the future. I know that she mentioned, like, because she was the podcast host was like asking her, do you have any other revenue streams? And her answer didn't really seem like
I know what she's talking. No,
what was that? So what was that? Yeah.
So when TikTok got deleted, she like kind of panicked, and it was very obvious to me from that moment she does not have a backup plan, which is fair enough. Like, if I'm being honest with you, bro, neither do I. Like, if YouTube's gone, I'm fucking cooked. Like completely. Maybe I'll become a Twitch streamer or TikToker. But yeah, so she like went onto her Instagram stories and was like, follow me on this platform, follow me on this new platform. And she was basically promoting all these platforms that I've never heard of. She made a Twitch account, and on every single one of these platforms, she's got like one follower. And I think, to me, that's like an indication that she does not have a backup plan. Like, and on all these other platforms too, like, she may have a bigger following now on there than she did then, but like, it's never going to be what it is on TikTok. And I mean, I don't think that she's spending money on like investing in stocks and stuff like that. I mean, neither am I, for the most part. So I don't really think there is a backup plan. And I think that makes it even more worrying, because imagine the situation they're going to be in when she's not making $12,000 a live stream anymore.
Yeah. And like, as far as like trying to move from, TikTok to another platform, it just does not correlate, man. Like,
especially if you're not making actual content. If your content is just drama. And this is the thing, not just like with us, when we make our videos speaking about like a dramatic situation, people can get tired of a topic, but there's going to be another fucking topic the next week, bro. There's going to be another topic. And like that's just how it works. Whereas with her, she is the drama. But it's like, if people get bored of that drama, you're cooked. Like you can't, there's nothing.
There's the difference between being the drama and then talking about the drama. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like with like news and stuff. Like, there's gonna be a news host on like BBC News or like Sky News for like the Fox News for 20 years straight. They're gonna be fine because there's gonna be another story the next day. You know, there's always another story. And like, I know that sounds like a bit like a depressing way to view it, but there is always gonna be another story. But if you are the story, that's why, like, in a way, I feel like being a commentary, topic-based YouTuber, video essay YouTuber is like the ideal YouTuber to be, because there's always going to be something else. Whereas if you're a person who is, I'm a lolcow, or I'm in drama, or even if like I'm a guy known for playing a certain video game, I would be in a constant perpetual state of fear, because like, what if that's not relevant the next day? And now I've got to try and make something else.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I've kind of like shifted my content, you know, because there was a time when I was not the drama, but like where I was the viral thing that people were talking about, right? Yeah. Like when my loose skin video went out,
of course,
like that went viral, right? And I ended up on like TV shows, and everyone. I mean, it's not like there wasn't really a fitness commentary genre yet. It just didn't exist on YouTube because it was, you know, this was 2016, 2015, very early. And so, but like there was like a lot of articles about it, and there were a few people that had like made videos. And I remember like certain, like fitness YouTubers that I followed reached out to me and like, oh, this is really cool. Cause I was a fitness YouTuber, but I was tiny, right? I was like 5,000 subs at the time. And so it was interesting, like going from that and like seeing the highs, but the highs were crazy, man. Right. Like it was insane. But then it was like, you know, a few weeks later, bam. Okay. Everyone's moved on.
How did that feel?
It was interesting. Like I was obviously super stoked, and I just kind of was like, well, I'm just going to continue doing what I was doing before. Right. And so I just continued making videos, and luckily over time I've been able to like, you know, change things up and try and go with what's like popular or whatever on YouTube. I've never been huge, right? But I've been able to you know, do fine for myself. Yeah. And so, but it's been interesting, like being in both of those, like the person that was the thing that people talked about to now being the person that is talking about the things, you know?
Yeah. Did you like, was there like a worry when you, so like when things started to like kind of like, naturally the interest kind of drops. Were you concerned, or was it a case of like, no, I'm going to turn this into something?
You know, because I didn't rely on YouTube financially for a while.
Yeah.
And I had like 2 jobs, and I was also making YouTube videos. And so I ended up leaving my jobs after I was like, okay, I feel that I can sustain myself. And there was like opportunities that I was getting that I was going to have to continuously ask for work off. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to like, I left one job and then I ended up working at Starbucks. That was like the job I kept for a little bit, but not much longer. Yeah. Where I was at one time I had multiple jobs multiple times in my life, but when I got like, when the video went viral, I was working at Starbucks, and then I was working at 24 Hour Fitness.
Damn, you were grinding.
And yeah, there was a few, like, cause I would wake up at 3 a.m. to open at Starbucks. What? And then I would,
Starbucks,
and then so I would work.
At the
US? They all open at different times. It just depends on like what your area, like what works for them.
Yeah.
So I would wake up then, and I would work at Starbucks until either 8 if it was like a short shift, or like 12. Yeah. And then I would work at the gym from like 1 until like 7 or something like that. And then I would work out afterwards. And so that was that, but it's not like I did that job every single day, right? They were both part-time jobs, but there were multiple days that would happen pretty frequently. But then I ended up leaving. I actually left the gym first because I really didn't like working there. And then eventually I left Starbucks, but it was like a decision that I was like, there's these opportunities. There was a lot of like fitness expos at the time that was really popular that I wanted to go to, and I would have had to keep asking for work off. And I was like, let me just like do this and like take the chance. And then from there, it's been like, it was like not that much, and then the pandemic happened, and like that was actually my biggest years when I had already been doing YouTube for like 6-7 years at that point, right? Yeah. So it's definitely been like
That's what I really like about YouTube, though, is like things do just kind of flow. Like I feel like I don't really have concerns in terms of like, views and stuff like that. Maybe if a video does really well, I'll be like, oh, that sucks. But I'll just upload the next video and everything will be fine. And I think I kind of like YouTube, and I really like my audience as well, because like they're just there, and it's like nice, you know. There's always like guaranteed 100,000 people that are just there, and like that's really like comforting. And they've been there for years, and it's whereas on TikTok I feel like I'd be a bit manic in the sense of like,
dude, because it's so all over the place. Like you don't know, you have no. And it's been interesting for me because I feel like that has shifted over to Instagram too, because Instagram was my first platform, right? And man, we have really got off topic, but whatever. Instagram was my first platform, and like for years, it was pretty reliable. And like I know about how well this post will do. I'll know how many likes I'll get in a certain amount of time. Now it's like you might get 100 likes or you might get 10,000. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's like literally I have no idea.
Instagram is such a weird platform. I feel like growing on Instagram, unless you do reels, is almost impossible. Like they do not care about photos anymore, like whatsoever. Yeah. And with TikTok, it's just like I feel like it's getting progressively more like YouTube, but in terms of like what Ashley is doing, it very much seems way more volatile. It's not a content focused thing in terms of like she's doing something. So when that crash out happens, when people stop caring, what's going to happen? Are the kids going to get affected by it? Is she going to start deliberately dating prisoners again? Which is a crazy thing to say, bro. Yeah. But like she genuinely might do that, which is wild. But I feel like it would be more entertaining if there weren't these actual two children who are constantly involved, you know, at risk in the situation.
Yeah, and like, you know, I like to talk about these subjects and like talk more about like maybe what not everyone on the surface level can see and is obvious, right? Like maybe there's like more behind, and there's thoughts, and there's like a plan, like in the Nick Cotto stuff, right? Maybe there's like almost elements of that, and I like to think that way, but especially after watching that podcast, I don't.
It's hard, isn't it?
Like I don't think that's the case. I think there's no forethought into the decisions. Yeah. It is just wake up and go live. Yeah. That's it. Like
I don't think that she's. I don't know. I think she's a bad person. I genuinely do. Like just based on everything I've heard, the pulling the hair stuff, the mistreating the children, refusing to buy a bed. I think she's a bad person, but I don't think she's like some villain who is planning out her actions. I think she's like a dog who's chasing a bone, you know? Like imagine if you put a dog on a treadmill and you attach the bone in front of like a carrot on a stick analogy sort of thing, and they're just constantly chasing that bone. She's chasing clout at every opportunity. Like and she doesn't think about it. She doesn't doesn't know what the next part of the plan is. She just does it, and like she doesn't know what to do with it, and it's just kind of like going into this like big crazy thing, which is like snowballing, and I think the inevitable ending point is when her kids get taken off her. I think that's going to happen. Surely if CPS we all know they're not the best, of course they've got a lot of issues, but like surely if they have any integrity about them, I'm not saying, I mean, I don't think it's a good environment for her kids to be in. Like surely until she starts doing something, they should be in custody of their grandparents. They clearly like their grandparents. She word for word says in the podcast, when they want to go to their grandparents is when they want to be saved from me. Like she says that. I'm like, bro, what the fuck does that mean? Being saved from me? Like I feel like the grandparents should absolutely have custody of these kids until she gets her shit together, gets them a bed. Because like if she's earning $1 million a year, she can afford them having separate bedrooms. I mean, bro, she can afford them to have their own houses if she really wanted to. Like it's weird to say that I think like a government institution like CPS should get involved, but I think it's only inevitable, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I think with the amount that she is pushing it, and like it seems that she, you know, is almost intentionally like baiting people into doing that stuff because again, it just drives more engagement and stuff that like at some point, there's going to be a breaking point, right, where they end up doing stuff. Like the only thing, again, that I'm like the only way I could see it like not happening is, again, if she is some sort of huge mastermind that has tricked out all of us, and we all think that like she's this terrible person, but when they get there, she's like completely normal, and she's like, they don't know that it's just all fake and none of this, you know what I mean?
After
like,
the
I don't think that's actually
after
happening.
the Nikocado stuff, bro, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to keep saying bro. It's coming to my vocabulary during this podcast. After this podcast, brother, it's after this podcast, after the Nikocado video, it's been like in my mind whenever I cover anything now, it's like, what if this isn't real?
Am I getting played? Yeah.
Am I getting played again? Am I going to get embarrassed on like a major scale? But I don't think, based on what I've seen, based on the podcast, I just don't think it's a case of that. I think she is just, are you allowed to call people stupid? I think she's stupid. Like, I really fucking do. Like this woman is not intelligent. There's no way, based on anything, she's dumb as fuck. Like, I'm gonna just say it. Like YouTube, this is my opinion. Like, I'm just like, based on my observations of someone's intelligence on a podcast. That's my interpretation and opinion. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with the sentiment, not the words. Okay, please leave me alone.
Yeah, I know. So
no, I'm just kidding. I know. I agree. Yeah,
I get like scared to say things on YouTube, but then I like go on someone's video and they're like,
I know, dude.
They're being brutal, and I'm like, how are you monetized?
Mm-hmm.
Although, bro, we were talking about some like pretty in-depth conspiracy theories on an episode a while back, and we got monetized on that episode. We were like word for word dropping certain conspiracy theories, and the whole episode was monetized. And I'm like, YouTube, they're changing things up. Like a while ago,
as long as you bury it far enough into the video, you're good.
As long as not in the first 2 minutes, you're all good. They don't care.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you.
But wrapping up this whole Ashley thing, because we've been going for a good hour on this topic now. In general, like, where do you think this is all going to go? Like, I feel like surely this is the peak. Like, surely it can't keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
I think it can get a little bigger. I don't know how, but I wouldn't be surprised, I guess, is what I'm saying. But I definitely, I see this, either there's two options. Maybe this is me cheating. But either she ends up having like a huge burnout, right? Like catastrophic, something happens and it's just like curtains, right? Or and I honestly would feel like this is probably the worst option for her, is a slow fizzle out to where people just don't care anymore. And she is like the Jason Nash, but he doesn't have, she doesn't have a David Dobrik to come save him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's like she would just.
I'd watch a Casey Neistat documentary about her, but it would never get released.
Yeah. But the thing is that it's not like that would. I think it's one of those things. It's almost like the Shane Dawson effect, right? Like, remember when he was doing the documentaries? Everyone was like, "Oh, he's gonna revive these people's careers." Yeah. But you look at Graveyard Girl, and
I did a video about Graveyard Girl.
No offense, like she seems nice, but like it's just like I think that's just what will happen. Yeah. Just kind of fade away.
I did a video about Graveyard Girl in like 2018. It's kind of a mean title looking back on it. Let me try and find it. Wait, I'm double checking that it's. Where is it? Is it
I used to watch her videos, like back in the day. I thought that she was like, I was like, oh, she's so good on camera. But I watch back now, I'm like, that's too much. Like, could you imagine if I did my videos like that?
Wait, let me open a video of hers now. I haven't watched her in years. Oh my! Wow, yeah, she still uploads every day. I haven't got a problem with this person, but look at this title that I put up in 2018. Just in all caps, why
Graveyard Girl's channel died.
Oh, that shit's. I got 600k views though, so I was cooking. 600k views on an 18-minute video. Back when I was doing 18-minute videos, my friends who also did YouTube clowned on me, being like, "Why are you doing such long videos? That's so stupid." And I'm like, I knew what I was doing. You
knew that you were going to start making 8-hour videos, and they had no idea.
Never again will I be doing a video that long. Was my Nikocado video 7 hours? I'm gonna look at. Yeah, it would. Oh my god, it was 7 hours long. That's crazy. I'm so sick in the head. Okay, yeah. So I feel like we'll. Yeah, my final thoughts on Ash Trevino is I don't think it. I don't know if it can get bigger, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I think that's where we'll end that topic there. And I'm sure next week there'll be something else for us to talk about, because it just feels like every week there is something. I'm more interested about the beef that she's having with her daughter publicly. That's crazy.
I'm sorry. That's an interesting sentence to say out loud.
Can you imagine
the online beef with your daughter?
Imagine having a kid and like actually like. Could you imagine like publicly beefing with your mom?
No, not at all. I just wouldn't. I'd be like, I'm not like if she decided to message me something crazy, I'd be like, I'm not gonna respond to that publicly, and I will call her. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, the idea, especially imagine like beefing a 15-year-old member of your family. Like that. I feel like at that point you've just kind of got to look in the mirror and be like, I am way too chronically online, way too chronically online. But yeah, that wraps up that. Is there anything else we can discuss? Like we're near the 2-hour mark, but is there anything else still on your mind?
No, I mean, yeah, there's always stuff, but I think that I wouldn't want to just talk about it for a couple minutes. So I think that we can save that for another date, you know?
Yeah, sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and sorry about all the computer issues today. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe you can get some of your charity donations, bro.
yeah, exactly. That's the plan. It's going into a new graphics card. Not that I need one, but
well, graphics card. Do you like are you like into like specs and stuff for your computers?
When I need something new, I'm into it. But then when I don't, I'm not super into it. But I have a 3080. It's nothing in it now. It's kind of old. But when I got it, I was like, damn, this thing is crazy. What do you have? A 1590 or something? 5090?
Got a 3090. Just fun up you slightly.
Okay.
Nah, I don't know. I have a computer science degree, but I don't know anything about hardware, like modern hardware. Like what's kind of annoying though is how much money Nvidia is worth now. And I had like a Nvidia GTX 750 in like 2013, and like thinking back to like Nvidia back then, like I knew a lot about it. But to like imagine investing in Nvidia stocks in like 2013, even like 3 years ago, like their values just because of AI, it's just gone up crazy amount.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, and just I don't know, like how expensive the graphics cards have gotten though. Now it's crazy, like over $1,000, and it's like people are like, "Oh, PC is so much better than console." And I'm like, I mean, if you can afford it.
It used to be the budget thing. I remember getting a £300 computer in 2013, and that shit could run everything. But now graphics cards are so expensive. I mean, do you remember during COVID how much things cost,
dude? I ended up, I had to buy. I bought mine. I don't think it was from a scalper. But it was marked up. So I ended up paying like a few extra $100 on top of what the actual, but it was like, I had no other option. Like I had to get something new.
I bought my PlayStation 5 from the scalper. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever done. And
can you share how much it was?
let me convert it to dollars.
Oh no. I just know that Switch 2 is definitely going to be in your hands too. How much?
$800.
Oh my god! That's like, it could be worse. I guess like it could be over. Like if it was like over 1,000, I'd be like, brother.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Switch 2.
You'll pay. You will. You will pay over 1,000. I know you will.
I've heard.
What's the MSRP on it? Has that come out at all?
Nintendo are like notoriously good with prices. Like the Switch. How much was it? Let me Google Nintendo Switch 2017 price.
Was it like $249?
It would have been a bit more than that. I think $299, which is good. I think. I feel like. I mean, I remember when they released a certain version.
Well, it was good at the time. You know, now paying that much for a Switch is like, brother.
Oh yeah,
don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I remember. I think I got Amanda's Switch Lite for like $150 like a year and a half ago.
Oh
or
shit,
like that.
That's good.
I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was $249. I could be wrong.
My Switch is literally right here. I got the and it's the special edition one for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
I was so confused. I was like, what kind of Switch is that? I was like, it doesn't have the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, they're here.
I was like, What is that one? What am I missing out on?
Wait, am I gonna sneeze? I've got the whole episode about sneezing. You know when you're at that
Come
point
on,
where
you can
just,
do it.
I feel like
Sneeze some. Just
I've got
sniff some
performance.
pepper.
I've got performance anxiety right now. Let me just put my nose. Oh, that's gross. I'm sorry to everyone that could hear that. No, my nose is fully blocked now. My body is fighting me today.
Yeah,
My impulse purchases with like, not even impulse purchases, with like technology and video games. I think the problem being poor when you're younger or not having money when you're younger is that when you get money, you then just want to fucking buy everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
I like, look at this game here. Look at this stupid ass game. This is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of the Sky. And this game is a game that I didn't have when I was a kid. And I could have played it on like an emulator for free. The game now it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but for a Nintendo DS game, paying $115,
It's
yeah,
pretty bad.
that's pretty bad. But also, I then have. Can I do this without dropping them?
Oh, nice work.
I have every single Pokemon game on Nintendo DS and 3DS. Every single one.
Why don't you just display them?
Why do I display them? Oh, I don't, because I like playing them, but I should display them.
Oh, okay. Well, then
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I actually do play them. Like I've been playing this one recently. This is White 2. This one is probably the most expensive one, I think, because everyone says it's like this is just going through all my part. This is my my whole Pokemon White 2. Yeah, Pokemon White 2 in the UK. Let me get a Best Buy price up. That's an American place, right? Best Buy. Choose a country. United States, I believe. I am there. Okay, it's not available. Where's a place that you would buy video games like secondhand in the US?
I mean, I guess GameStop.
GameStop, Pokemon White 2. This part of the podcast is for like the 5 people that view it. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be that. Okay, GameStop don't even have it in stock. Is there like a way? How much is Pokemon?
I'm sure you could probably search it. Yeah.
2 in USA. Oh my god, it's way more expensive in the US. That's crazy. $270.
Oh my god.
I paid like $120 for it, but like that is crazy. Yeah, DS games like I spoke to somebody about this the other day. So like, if you go and find old retro like NES or Nintendo 64 games, they're not as high in value as they were 10 years ago, because what happens is a certain demographic that played those games when they were a kid get nostalgic for those games. They now have the money for those games, but those games aren't being produced anymore. So they'll go and use their adult money to buy these things, and the market will inflate the price. But when they get 10 years older, they've got the games, they no longer care about that thing, and there's not a new generation coming through that care about those things, so the price will go back down. Whereas with PlayStation 2 right now, Nintendo DS, Xbox 360, if you go into like a resale place, the prices for some games are just astronomical, and it's just because there's nostalgia. Like, we're the generation that are nostalgic for that, and now the prices are going up, and it's like, I know people say that it's like an investment to buy video games, but I don't think it is. I predict that these games in like 20 years aren't. I mean, maybe they will be the same value, but they're not going to be like worth $1,000 or anything like that.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Yeah, it makes sense. It's not like the oldest thing is always necessarily going to be the most expensive, right?
Yeah, it's about
going
like
to be
what people want and are nostalgic for.
When I think of, so I had the original DS, right?
Yeah.
Which I honestly have no idea how my mom got that for me. Like, it was definitely a Christmas or a birthday present, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I was super excited, and I went to, because I got it like pretty initial, like right after it had come out. So there weren't many games. So I remember I went to, I think it was called this place called Game Crazy. I don't think, I went to Game Crazy more, which was inside of a Hollywood Video, which was a rental place. It's so nostalgic. But I remember I went there, and there was not that many DS games yet. like very, very few. And so I ended up buying Zelda and the Minish Cap.
Oh, I had that
Do you know
game.
that Game Boy Advance game?
Yeah.
And I remember I played a good amount, but it was like I was too young to really get it and like be able to like have fun with it. So I ended up like I didn't play it much. I definitely didn't finish it because it was like too hard. It was like too confusing for me.
Yeah.
I think I was in like 6th grade, maybe 7th. I don't know. Like, and maybe I should have been able to do it, but like I get very with puzzles too. I don't like puzzles really in any games because it reminds me of how I felt in school when I'd get frustrated and not be able to do something. And so it just like I would have these feelings and I'm like, I'm not supposed to feel this way when I'm playing a game, and so I just didn't finish it.
Yeah. Did you ever go back to it?
No, I mean, maybe I could. I mean, I definitely could now, obviously, if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And maybe I will. Maybe I'll like, I don't know. I'm sure they'll release it. Or maybe do they release like games like that on the Switch?
They do, actually, yeah, but like they don't release many. Maybe it will be on there. I'm not sure. Let me check. Minish Cap, Nintendo.
I'm
Switch.
Sure, if I tried to play it like on an actual Game Boy Advance, dude.
Yeah, I think it actually is on there. I think I'm not 100% too sure. I've seen some like people speaking about it on Reddit, but I'm not 100% too sure, to be honest with you. No, Nintendo prices in general, I mean, they're still good to this day. Like I'm reading here, like the Nintendo 2DS at one point was $79.99. Like that's good.
Yeah.
Like and that was in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
The 3DS XL was $199, which I think is pretty fucking good for what you're getting there. So yeah, I imagine it's probably going to be more like $400 for the Switch 2, because like it seems like it's like a pretty powerful.
That wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of inflation and stuff, like when the 3DS, I'm reading here, when the 3DS came out, it was $250, and that was $350 in matching inflation. And when the 3DS came out, I bought that on day one, and that was because I saved up all my Christmas money, and I saved up all my paper round money. And like I remember going into like the game store and like so happy that I was getting this thing.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It was like the first time I'd ever got something on day one because I'd worked for it. I was like probably like 13, 14 years old, and I got it. And do you know what fucking sucked? There were no games. There were no games. They released no games for it, bro. It was like the PS5 situation all over again. And like I remember like coming into school the next day being like, look at my sick thing. But like there was nothing to play on it. I was playing DS games on it. But either way, the 3DS is one of my favorite consoles of all time now because there are so many games for it. But
how many 3DSs do you have?
I have 3 3DSs. Funny enough, I have I have one right here. This is my 3DS XL.
Is that like the one you use the most?
This is my new. It's called the new 3DS XLs when they made their new line, which was the worst naming of all time.
For real.
So I bought that in 2021, and I've played on that loads. I bought like a base 3DS on Facebook Marketplace for like £30 because my friend laughed at me for this because I told them about it, and they thought it was sweet, but basically there's like Pokemon you need to evolve by trading. So I bought a fucking.
You traded with yourself.
Well, I need to evolve, bro. I needed to evolve it in my fucking Onyx into a Steelix or some shit.
Bro, you were fiending. I know you were fiending. Yeah. You're like, I need to get another one.
But I think that's like somewhere down there. And then this year, this is probably my worst one. There's this like 3DS which you can only get in Japan. Like it was like a Pikachu special edition one. The buttons all multicolored and stuff. So I got the new 3DS Pikachu edition imported from Japan to the UK. I had to pay like £100 in import tax. Fucking. I'm not even like sure on how much I paid for this DS, but it was definitely more than it was original selling price for sure. And I play on it a lot. It's like my baby.
Okay. Well, at least you use it.
Yeah, I do. And I'm a big. I'm such a cuck when it comes to Nintendo, man. Like
I mean, clearly, right? I see the Pikachu right behind you.
Yeah,
you're a Nintendo guy. How many? Okay, now I'm curious. How just in general, please go over every console you have.
Oh God! You put me out here, man. So I've
Sorry.
owned 3 Nintendo Switches. So my original
Okay.
Switch I bought in 2018 from Jake Baz, another YouTuber who I've mentioned. I bought it off him secondhand because at this point I wasn't that into Nintendo. I've always been into Nintendo. So honestly, we can go back. Do you want me to go back to the beginning for all my stuff?
Sure, yeah. Why not?
All right. Then we can get the lore. All right. So the first Nintendo thing I ever owned was a Game Boy, and then I got a
The color or
just a Game Boy, and then I got a Game Boy Color. I'm old. So
okay.
I remember having to like at night time shine a torch onto it so I can play it. And so yeah, I had a Game Boy. Then I got a Game Boy. I think the next one I got was a Game Boy Color. I ended up getting a Game Boy Advance. This is before we went broke. And then I got got a Game Boy Advance, then a Nintendo DS. And all of these things are basically just like Pokemon machines for me, like since childhood. Got my DS, and then shit hit the fan. Global financial crisis. Parents broke up. So then we weren't good for money. So then I didn't have I never had a DS Lite. I don't think I had my fat ass DS up until I got a 3DS. So I had the 3DS. Oh, I also forgot. I also had a GameCube, which is my baby. Super Smash Bros. Melee. I am so goated at that game. There's this. So Super Smash Bros. Is the only game I know I'm good at, and I don't understand it. Do you know Quite? I sent that man into a mental breakdown because
Really,
he was round mine in 2019, and like. He played me on Smash and he was so confident in beating me. And the thing is with Smash, I don't play it regularly. I don't. I'll like complete the game, get all the characters and stuff like that, but I don't play it regularly. But it's like I come back to it and I go into fucking demon time. So like I played him, absolutely smashed him. James Marriott, smashed them both. Like I don't know why, I'm just so good at that game, and I think it comes from when I was a kid of just constantly playing Super Smash Bros. Melee. So or Melee. And I used to play that game all the time on my GameCube. Probably like the only game I used to play on it other than like James Bond, Nightfire. And then got a Nintendo Wii. Basically was just a Zelda and Smash Bros. Machine. So then the 3DS comes into things. And then it gets kind of weird. I get the 3DS. I don't play on it much. Then I get Pokemon when it comes out in 2014. So there's like a 3-year gap in my Nintendo era. The one console that I never got from Nintendo was the Nintendo Wii U. I never had a Wii U. It probably comes down to having no money.
And like no one did.
Yeah, who the fuck had that? No one had that. I stopped basically playing Nintendo stuff completely until like 2018 when I got the Switch. And honestly, I barely played on the Switch. I barely played on it. Then they released Super Smash Bros. Obviously, I'm in that shit. I'm playing that all the time. And then 2021, I really started getting back on my Nintendo shit of like buying all the old games and stuff like that. I was like, I can afford this. I'm gonna do it. I have a 3DS. Have 2 free 3DSs. Have the Switch. I've had my original Switch. Then I bought the Switch OLED. And I think I gave it to a friend as like a gift because I was like, I'm gonna buy the new one, like the limited edition one. So I was like, I don't need 2, you can have it. So yeah, that's all my consoles in terms of Nintendo. Now in terms of everything, I'm not good with money. I just spend my money. I just spend it. I have my gaming PCs. I have 2. For business purposes, I should say to the tax man, these are PCs that I edit videos on, but then I have my PS5, then I have my 3 Nintendo Switches, which only have 1 now, then I have my Xbox Series X, then I have my Steam Deck, then I have my Steam Deck OLED, then I have, what else do I have?
You have 2 Steam Decks?
I told you, I bought a Steam Deck and then they released the fucking OLED and I was like, well, I've got to have that.
You know there's a white one too, right?
I spoke to you about this. Do you remember that? You know that scene in Spider-Man No Way Home when like the Green Goblin's trying to like get away from the mask and it's like, coward, we have a new world to conquer. That's what the fucking Steam Deck, the white edition was saying to me. And I was like, you do not need that. I was like, I had to turn the computer off, look away. And I never got it. And I'm proud of myself for never getting that. Do I have anything else? I have a Nintendo Wii as well for some reason. One day I went down to our like version of Best Buy at CEX, and they were selling a black Nintendo Wii in there for like £20, and I was like, I mean, I've got to have that. Like £20, like come on, Nintendo Wii. I bought Twilight Princess for like £5. You know, never played on it, but I've got it somewhere.
You never played it?
No, like what, dude? What? Nah, I just played that shit on my Steam Deck. I just wanted to have it.
No, I feel that.
What else? There must be something I'm missing here. I have a PS4 Pro, which I gave. So the guy who looks after my dog, he runs like a charity thing. This is where I can play I can get the brownie points back in. Oh, okay. He runs like a charity thing, and he noticed that I wasn't like using the PS4 Pro. He was like, "Oh, do you mind? Like you have a PS5?" I was like, "Yeah, give it to take it to your charity thing, so all the kids there can have a PS4 Pro to play FIFA on and stuff like that." And then I had an Xbox One X, which is like the one they released just before the Series X. And I gave that to a friend because they needed like a Blu-ray player. So I was like, yeah, you can have that. But that is all my consoles. And I should say, I think I was speaking to somebody about this the other day. They were like, you should probably go to like a therapist about like the need to buy like and own everything. And I was like, I don't need to go to a therapist. I know what it is. I didn't have shit as a kid, had no money, stumbled upon money. Now I can have what I want, and I just buy it. And it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. But I do it anyway.
Which one do you you play the most, do you think?
Well, my gaming PC for sure. My 3DS XL I play on a lot. My Steam Deck, I've actually been playing that quite a lot because Kingdom Come runs quite well on that. So yeah, I'd say like Steam Deck, gaming PC, and my DS for sure. I never play on my PS5 unless it's like a PS5 exclusive like Spider-Man. They've not touched my Xbox Series X at all. Only time I'll play on my consoles is when I'm playing FIFA with my friends. And that's like once every month. So like, realistically, it's mainly all my game time comes from my PC. Which, thinking back on it, it's like, it's so like, people are gonna be listening to me like, this fucking little dickhead, like owning all this shit, man. And I'm like, you know what, guys, I should be your inspiration. One day too, you can own everything.
I mean, hey, if it makes you happy, man, I mean, whatever.
It does. And I should just say, like, from what I'm describing, it makes me sound like some rich multimillionaire. I'm not that. I just like to spend my money on things. And like, to me, I don't like, I should save. Like, I do save money, like, now. But, like, I don't like hoarding money because it's like, the money is there to spend on things that make my life enjoyable. Why am I going to, like, save money for 20 years? So, like, I don't know, in 20 years' time, I can have a good time. It's like, I want to have a good time now, whilst then still saving money on the side, just not as much money. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, I've never really understood the idea of, like, not enjoying your life in your 20s and being like, oh, when I'm 60, I can enjoy my life. It's like, bro, I want to enjoy my life now. And if I can, I'm in a privileged position to where I can. Why not? You know? Okay, is your audio still recording? Oh, okay. Okay, so John's camera has just died. We will try to fix these issues in the next episode. I hope he's laughing. I promise you he's laughing right now. I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to everything today, especially my deranged ownership of multiple devices. And please follow us on Spotify. Thank you very much for listening, and let us know what you want to cover in the next episode. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. I'm sorry if that was very abrupt, but we've got a lot of technical issues today. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a good week. Nice.